Well, hello everyone, and happy Friday to you. I'm a few minutes late getting started here today. I had some technical difficulties, and I'm always grateful when those can be resolved within a few minutes. So hopefully folks will find us here a few minutes late. I am, of course, Reverend Tabor, and this is Put a Myrtle on It, the place to be for a little prayer, a little myrtle, and a little song, just a little song. And guess what, guys? Today is our 25th episode. So I guess that makes it like the silver episode or something, but this is our 25th episode. So thank you so much to all of you who are able to come in live stream with us or view it later on our Unity of Arlington YouTube channel, which quite a few of you do. So I'm just grateful. I love sharing Myrtle. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, if you are new to Unity and to Myrtle Fillmore, and you've just kind of stumbled upon this little program, let me just share a little bit with you. Myrtle Fillmore is a co-founder of the Unity movement. She and her husband Charles founded Unity in the late 1800s. They also developed what became Silent Unity, which today, over 125 years later, is one of the longest running telephone prayer ministries. And, you know, there's no charge for that. There's no fee for that. If you've never called Silent Unity, I encourage you to do that. They would love to pray with you. This is across all denominations and faiths. Another wonderful thing that developed out of Unity is, of course, the Daily Word magazine, which is read by hundreds of thousands of people from all walks of life. Now, I am a Unity minister, licensed, ordained, Master of Divinity, and I became a Unity minister. I answered my call to become a Unity minister in great part because I fell in love with Myrtle Fillmore. And I fell in love with these teachings. They made a huge difference in my life. They really changed my life for the better. And I know that they can do the same for you. It works if you work it. And so when I was in seminary, I coined the phrase, put a myrtle on it. And you know, that's just a fun, it's a fun phrase. And so I thought during this pandemic, why don't we put a myrtle on it? Why don't we put a myrtle on it? What better time than right now to share her seeds of wisdom and truth? And so every Friday, until otherwise notified, we are going to come together here in this space and share a little myrtle, a little prayer, and a little song. Now, I do want to advise you that this is not like some kind of magical thinking. This is not like woo-woo, wave some kind of wand and things are in. This is not what this is. This really is about your spiritual awakening, and it is a practice, right? It's a practice. Now, today, I am happy to share with you, and before I do this, I just want to click over here. I want to make sure, okay, today I am going to be sharing from Myrtle's book, Healing Letters. Again, this is Myrtle's book, Healing Letters, and I am going to be sharing from a controversial chapter, and it is her chapter titled No Incurable Disease. So if you have Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters, first of all, if you don't, you really should go pick this up. It is a great, both this and How to Let God Help You are excellent books. They're wonderful books to have on your bookshelf. And so today, again, I'm going to be reading from No Incurable Disease. So if you have it, please join me. And we're going to start on page 44. I wish we had time today. I have to tell you, I wish we had time today to read this entire chapter together, which we do not. So as always, I'm going to start with some highlights. Okay, here we go. Right out of the gate here. There is no such thing as a disease or incurable condition. Now, I'm going to ask you to hang in here with me because I know already, right? It would be very easy to say, what? Well, that is not true. Well, just hang in here. Okay, let's hear what Myrtle has to say. These activities, weaknesses, or abnormalities to which the medical profession gives name are but the efforts of the God-given inner intelligence to deal with conditions that the individual has produced by his failure to understand the truth and to recognize himself as the perfect child of God and to live by the divine law of life. Anything that does not measure up to the Christ pattern of perfection can be changed. Doctors, of course, judge by appearances, founding their opinions upon the study of effects and drawing their conclusions from the outworking of mistakes patients have made. So when someone comes to us who has had a doctor diagnose his illness, we ask him to turn from the doctor's opinions and verdict and cease to think of the name he gave the condition that existed at the time of the examination and treatment. We ask him to cast out the assumption that this condition would not be changed and done away with, just as one would refuse to hold to and to think of some unworthy or untrue thing that he might have heard spoken as he walked down the street. Now, normally I go back and do some other highlights, but before I go any further, I just want to pause. I'm going to hit the pause button here for a minute. So, no incurable disease. So, for those of us who are thinking, really? And you're already casting projections. Here's what I want to challenge you to think. What if there is no incurable disease? Just go with it. And do you sense that shift in your own being as you do? No incurable disease. There's no incurable disease. There's no disease beyond God, right? God in you, as you. So just be aware of that, right? So let's go with it. And then she says, because doctors are judging by appearances, they're looking for cause and effect. And so she's sharing with us that when someone would come to them, they would ask them to get beyond that, to look beyond the diagnosis and what the doctor says. Not because Unity doesn't believe in medicine. We absolutely do. In fact, one of my favorite Unity ministers who passed last year, Bishop Barbara King, would say, let God be in the medicine. So this isn't about medicine. This is about a shift in consciousness. And so she says, treat that just as you would if you refuse to believe something that you heard walking down the street. That, like, what if you're walking down the street and someone says the sky is bright green? I mean, you wouldn't get all caught up in that. You would just be like, shake my head, like, what? No, and you would move on, right? So that's what she's asking there. Okay, we are going to now move over to the very bottom of page 46. And this is so good. I don't want you to miss a second of this. Don't miss a second of it. Here we go. We rejoice and remember that we have the God power to change conditions, the God love to express Christ likeness, and we work lovingly and diligently with whatever we find in ourselves or our environment that falls short. Keeping the attention centered in the Christ mind, we are able to see beyond appearances to the impulses of the soul, which is always urging us in our efforts to make use of what God has given. To the degree that we let Christ be lifted up in the name, and in the same degree shall we rid ourselves of that which may have been pronounced incurable or may have seemed to us a dis-ease that was incurable. Let us remember what Jesus Christ said. With God, all things are possible. Now, let us remember, not some things, but with God, all things are possible. That's what she means by the Christ mind, right? Let us be in the Christ mind. Let us remember that we have the God power to change conditions, God in us as us, and to express this Christ likeness. She goes on to write, any thought that is not based on the eternal reality, truth, has no existence. If we believe in disease, we are believing in something that has no substance or reality. Only the only the reality that we give it, right? Only the power that we give it. Disease has only the power that we give it. When we dissolve the belief out of our minds and in its place, establish the realization of the one presence and one power of good, and exercise our faith and health as the one presence and one power within us, we shall feel the conviction that we are the expression of the health that God is. Now, isn't this happening right now during the midst of COVID-19 and this pandemic? You know, at some point, our entire collective consciousness shifted around this. And this is why, I mean, regardless of what your thoughts are about a vaccine or the vaccines, right? We can hold this in the highest for the best possible outcome. And so what was once considered dis-ease, right? This virus is going to be eradicated, just like so many others throughout centuries, right? And so let us look upon it as no incurable disease, that it is absolutely, that everything that comes up to be revealed, that is revealed to be healed, is absolutely curable. Now, keeping in mind, there's a difference between curing and healing, right? Spiritual healing, healing and wholeness, knowing that we are always whole in God as God, right? Okay, so let's go on now. This powerful conviction of oneness with divine wholeness will become abiding. Nothing can take it from us. God is love, and God's love has cast out of the mind and heart all fear. There is no room for doubts and fears because God as love and health reigns supreme within us. We set to work to change any and everything. Okay, now moving on to the last page, 48. We may find does not measure up to the best that our new light shows us. We know that it is of much more importance to change and to do that which is best for our progress and our health than to be smugly consistent or to make the excuse that we have always done a thing and that it is too late to change. The moment we discover something undesirable in our minds or our lives, we should seek to make the changes necessary to bring the desirable into manifestation. And I love this, that she is really focusing here on, we know that it is of much more importance to change, to allow transformation, right? It's an allowing. It is the art of allowing that change. And she's saying that it is much better to do that than to be smugly consistent. Now, what does she mean by that? You know, I like to share with folks, especially if you're coming into practice, and if this is a new practice for you, to listen to that inner whisper, because just about the time that you feel obligated or it's something that you have to do, you are already missing the mark. And if that's the case, then I encourage you to take a moment, take a breath, maybe take, some time away until you can refresh yourself and refresh your practice and refresh your knowing that change is possible. Yes. And she's saying that the very minute, the moment that we discover that there's something undesirable, that's when we have to really start allowing these changes to take place so that what we do desire can manifest. And again, my goodness, I say this so often, we want to focus on what we do want, not what we don't want. And so many of us do that by default. Have you ever noticed if somebody, like if you ask someone what they want, well, what do you want? They can give you a whole litany about what they don't want, right? Okay, that's interesting, but what do you want? And, it's wonderful to know what you don't want by contrast, but that's not the energy that you want to stay in. That's not healing energy. Healing energy, and I'm going to go back to this, is when we dissolve the belief out of our minds and in its place establish the realization of the one presence and one power of good and exercise our faith in health as the one presence and power within, we shall feel the conviction that we are the expression of the health that God is. That is the healing, right? And so before we go into practice, I just want to reiterate, because this is such a controversial chapter for Myrtle Fillmore. So often, immediately before the words even come out of my mouth, no incurable disease, our little human thought forms when I go, well, that's not, well, that, what? And so you're going to have to just tell that little voice in your head to sit down and be quiet. And if it is unbelief, right, let us follow what the master teacher encouraged us to do, which is to pray to help my unbelief. That's a good place to start, right? Okay, one of my favorite chapters. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. But let us just hold this wonderful thought that with God, all things are possible. Anything that needs to be revealed can be healed. Amen? Amen. All righty. Okay, so we've had I'm going to take a little sip of tea. Hello, Marlene. Hello, Ileana. I know I got a little late start today. I had some technical difficulties. So let us begin now. We've had a little Myrtle. We're going to have a little prayer. So let's begin to shift our focus upon practice. Now, here's the teaching, right? Here's the teaching. And then we take that into our prayer and meditation practice. And what happens over time is this beautiful transformation. Like when you have this commitment to practice, it becomes less about really carving out the time to do it, because the practice becomes your life. And before you know it, a momentum takes over and you are just pulled by this vision, right? And it just becomes so easy and so graceful. And it's just a part of you, right? So It is my great joy to hold this practice about Myrtle's teachings. And my prayer for you is that it becomes something that you do regularly, right? You can only do it right, by the way. Pardon me, I got a little tickle in my throat. Okay, so with that, let us turn within. And I invite you to allow my words to be your words today. And I invite you to allow my words because in the course of this guided meditation, I want you to be hearing I am, not me saying you are. So give yourself permission, turn within, and I invite you to allow my voice to be your voice. I affirm that my thoughts, my words, my actions, my deeds are coming into alignment right here and right now with my true nature, my love nature, my God nature. And what a joy this is to be grounded right here, right now in this knowing. And so I bless my body temple. I kind of scan my body right now and I have an overview of my body. And I bless my body, the magnificence of my body temple, and all of the parts that work together in such beautiful harmony. And so I'm going to start with the top of my head to the tips of my toes. And I bless my mind. I bless my brain. I bless my hair today. I bless my skin suit today, the skin suit that I walk around in, my bone structures, all of the different bones that, my funny bone, all of my bones that come together to support me. I bless my eyes, my nose, my lips, my ears, my mouth, the power of my tongue and the words that I speak, my throat chakra, my voice. I use my voice for good. I speak words of love and life and harmony and peace and justice. I bless my arms, my hands, my fingers. Oh, my beautiful heart chakra, my entire cardiovascular system. Grateful for my heart, my beautiful heart, my loving heart. Grateful for my lungs and my breathing capacity, for my ribs, my chest, my entire chest area, my gallbladder, my liver, my kidneys, my colon, all of my internal functions, my nervous system, my back, my upper back, my lower back, my spine, all of that beautiful connective tissue. I bless my pelvic region, my entire pelvic region. I bless my thighs and my beautiful knees, my calves, my ankles, my feet, and my toes. I just kind of wiggle my toes. wiggle my toes, maybe lift my feet and just circle my ankles in one direction and then circle them in another direction. And then place them back flat on the floor, grounded, rooted into the earth, as it were. And so again, with such gratitude, I am so thankful for my body temple. I bless my body and my body blesses me. I love my body and my body loves me, is so good to me. And so I take just a moment now to tune into the vibration and the frequency from any kind of messages that my body wants me to pay attention to pay attention to. And so I just allow any messages to come up. Could be about a certain body part. It could be about something in my life, maybe about nutrition or rest or play or work or a relationship, or I just tune in right now and I just allow this message to be heard. I listen to my body. And so now I say, I hear you. I hear you, body. I hear you and I love you. And right here, right now, I allow the mighty currents of God's healing love to just flow through me into all areas of my body temple. And for any of those areas that were asking for my attention, I allow love to have its way. Healing love to have its way. And body, mind, and spirit, I allow healing love to have its way. And so I move now into a time of silence where I move deeper into my practice now and experience God. God by whatever name. There's so many names for God. And right now I think of love. God is love. Love is another name for God. And so in these moments of quiet, the secret place of the Most High, I just allow love to be made known in me, as me, here in the silence. There is only love. There is only wholeness and light in this moment. There is only love, only wholeness, and only light right here, right now, in this present moment. I bless my body, and my body blesses me. I love my body, and my body loves me. And so as we begin to bring this time of prayer and meditation to a close, we do so knowing that with God, all things are possible, not just some things, but all things. And for this knowing, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Amen, amen, and amen. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat today. Oh my goodness. So I encourage you to wiggle your toes and blink your eyes open and smile. So we've had a little Myrtle, we've had a little prayer, and now we're going to have just a little song. If you know it, please sing it with me. The lyrics are from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. I am healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. Here we go. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. Last time. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. And that is how you put a myrtle on it. Yes, indeedy. That is how you put a myrtle on it. So I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. Again, I had a little bit of a delay starting, some technical difficulties, but I'm glad a few of you made it here with us today. And also just a reminder, you can always go to the Unity of Arlington Facebook YouTube channel and watch the Put a Myrtle on It episodes there. But today was number 25. That is very exciting. So thank you all for your love and your support. And if you would like to share your spirit of generosity, of course, we are open to receive. There are 3 really easy ways that you can do that. One is just by going to our website and clicking the donate button. We also do text to give through Tithely, and of course the USPS, right? The United States Post Office. And these ways are also posted on our Facebook page. So now, with that, I don't want to leave without inviting you to join us this Sunday right here on our Unity of Arlington Facebook page, live stream 11 a.m. Central Time. Of course, it's Valentine's Day. Yes, happy Valentine's Day, Penny. Happy Valentine's Day. And so this Sunday, here's my talk. Were the Beatles right? Were they? All you need is love. Were they right? So come join me for that wonderful exploration. You might have a surprise or two in there. Okay, with that, I love you so very much and so very grateful for you and for this technology that allows us to connect. And so I love you. Until next time, peace and blessings. Mwah.